Hey everyone, we got a new video camera, so we're going to do our garden updates on video from now on. We also have a name. We've decided to call ourselves the Decisive Squirrel Homestead because we were very decisive squirrels when we bought this place and decided we were going to start growing food. We are still in the city, so there's a lot of background noise, and a neighbor is doing some remodeling work, so hopefully you can still hear everything. But today we're just going to walk around and get a starting tour of everything. And then after this first video, we'll probably do shorter ones where we just focus on one thing at a time. But today we're going to take a walk around and look at all the different things. So let's go. So starting at the front of the house, we have some fruit trees and berry vines we've put in. This is an apple tree that is putting out leaves. It's doing some good growth, but it's not doing a ton this first year, and that's fine. We want it to grow a good root system and get started. Around the bottom, we've put in some garlic and different flowers and borage and things like that to try to get a fruit tree guild going. Over closer to the fence, we have some Nanking cherries with some trash, and service berries. Service berries are kind of like blueberries, but they actually grow here. Our soil's not acidic enough here for blueberries, and Nanking cherries are basically a type of cherry that grows here. It's a little more tart than a regular cherry that you're used to from the store. This is another apple tree. This one leafed out a lot better and is trying to make an apple this year. I don't know. We'll see if that actually happens. We don't want it to make a lot of fruit in the first year, but we'll probably leave that first one there. We did put in sunflowers all along the fence, and hopefully those grow. Those are the big giant sunflowers that get to be 6-7 feet tall. So they're all along the fence here. That'll look really nice if they all grow. Down here at the other end, we have one of our peach trees. This one's doing really good. It also bloomed and set fruit this year. We won't let it grow more than a couple of peaches in this first year because we want it to grow a good root system, but we might get one or two. Through the gate into the front yard, you can maybe see over there our only little bit of non-producing plants. Those are those white roses back there. And up here we have some pink roses. I've never grown roses in my life. They were here when we moved in. I assume they're knockout roses just because we haven't done anything and they're doing great. But they are pretty, so now that they're here, I would like to keep them and take care of them a little bit. Down here on the other side, there's another darker pink rose that's just now starting to bloom out. And in the yard we have potatoes. We were a little bit dumb on our potatoes, and we've only grown them in the ground before. So you plant them, and then as the plant grows up, you hill dirt up over them so that they'll make more potatoes. And we thought if you just keep doing that and make them really tall, you'll get lots of potatoes, and it turns out that's not really how it works. They only put out new potatoes up to a certain height. So these towers turned out to be kind of pointless. We'll still get a good crop of potatoes, but not more than we would have in the ground. But these little cages do keep Clover from eating them, which is something. Clover thinks she's an herbivore. She likes to eat all the plants, even though she's a dog. Through this other side gate here, we get into the main part of the garden. So just a quick sweep of everything, but we'll go through step by step. Over here is a peach tree that bloomed before we got our big crazy freeze down here in Texas. So we aren't sure if it's dead or if it's just gone for the season. So we'll leave it for now and see if it comes up at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if that one's done for. This is our hugelkultur. We had a bunch of trees to cut down, and so we just put this in. Turns out the wood wasn't all dead. Some of it's trying to sprout through, but that's okay. Everything's growing really good here. We have pumpkins on each end. You can see those starting to vine in between the corn, which is the point. We want these to be prickly and not fun for raccoons and things like that, so that they don't come steal our corn. They started, it's afternoon now, so the flowers have closed up, but you can see some flowers down there that bloomed this morning. Those are male flowers. The females haven't opened up yet, but there are some female blooms getting started. You can see with squashes, the female blooms look like they have a little baby fruit down at the base of them. But the males, being males, are always overeager and bloom before the females do. This is glass gem corn on this end, just to be fun for the kids. And then down here is some super sweet corn. And then all around the edges, we have zucchini and yellow squash. There are too many here right now. They're planted too close together. I just haven't thinned them yet. I was waiting to see which ones really took off and grew well before I started taking any out. Around the edges, these little plants that aren't doing so great because they're in just straight in the ground. Those are blue Hubbard squash, and those are meant to be a trap crop so that squash vine borers attack those and not our squash. The squash vine borers are supposed to like those more, and the blue Hubbards are also supposed to be a little bit more tolerant of them, so you still get some fruit out of it. Blue Hubbard squash doesn't look like something our family's really gonna like, but the chickens can eat it, so win-win. This is one of our wicking beds. The wicking beds basically hold water in the bottom, so you don't have to water as often, and you can keep the top dry so you don't get as many weeds. These first few are supposed to have asparagus. That asparagus has sprouted up. We moved our asparagus crowns from our old house, and I think we left them out of the ground too long. I don't know if they're dead or they just haven't all sprouted yet, but we'll see. We'll give them some time. Some purple basil we threw in the ground just because we had it. This bed is full of all different lettuces. This is what we're feeding the guinea pigs out of right now. And this one is more lettuce and a lot of herbs. There's parsley, cilantro, oregano, thyme, a couple of different kinds of mint, all of the basics there. But we come out every day and get a big bowl of greens for the guinea pigs. Our strawberries are doing pretty good. We have two different types. These first two beds are just starting to put out berries. You can see one hiding under there. That's very good. Probably eat that for lunch today. This bed has a leak somewhere in it. It's not holding water as well. I can't figure out where the leak is, so the strawberries are obviously not doing as well. Some of the plants have kept up, but most of them aren't. Those little plants on the side are thyme, because thyme grows well with strawberries. So we put thyme just around the edges. Just a little companion planting. These are a different variety of strawberry, and they're doing a little bit better and have started producing really well. We're getting a good handful of berries every day out of those. So those are our wicking beds. Over here on the corner, we have what turned out to be a mulberry tree. We didn't know that's what it was when we moved in, but it is covered in berries right now. I hear that we'll be lucky if we can beat the birds to the berries, but there are 3 mulberry trees on the property. Lots and lots and lots of berries. So I'm hopeful we can share with the birds and still make some jam. We'll see how that goes. Our first garden bed down here has blue Hubbard squash on the end, onions, and a few beets in the middle. The beets had a hard time. They got planted before the big freeze, and then after the big freeze it was a little late to start over. So there's not very many beets this year. But on the front row here we have a whole bunch of different cabbages. The middle is onions and some beets, and then on the back we have a variety of tomatoes and marigolds interplanted with them just to help with pest control. You can't really see it, but on the other side of the tomatoes there are also some garlic planted. It's the wrong time of year to plant garlic. We did that as pest control, not to get the garlic. So if we get some, great, but that really wasn't the intent. We just bought a big bag from the grocery store and planted cloves to help with pest control there. More blue Hubbards on this end. This is the second bed. We have tomatoes closest to me, and then on the far side there are watermelon plants that kind of struggled to get started, but they're starting to take off now. We have cattle panel arches over everything for everything to grow. So supports for the tomatoes, for the vines to grow onto. Expensive startup cost, but they're really durable, so they'll last for years and years. We can take them down and put them up again. Down at the end of bed 2, we have some onions in the middle. More tomatoes on both sides down here. And a few tiny little blue Hubbards down here that also aren't doing well out at the end of the bed. Bed 3, we have my best blue Hubbard squash plant. This one's actually planted up in the weed barrier, and it's really happy. It's starting to try to vine out and take over a little bit, but I'm hoping it blooms soon and attracts those squash vine borers. I hear it also attracts the cucumber beetles, so hopefully it keeps some bugs away from other stuff. On this bed we have tomatoes closest to me, carrots in the middle, and on the far side there are the peas that survived the big freeze and pickling cucumbers that went in after the freeze. And all of those, the cucumbers, the peas, the tomatoes, have all started producing already. Down here closest to me are some cantaloupes that are just starting. They're struggling a little bit. They haven't really settled in yet. Still cucumbers closest to me, and some Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts don't really grow well here. I haven't had any luck with them in the past couple of years. It gets too hot, so they make a sprout and then the sprout opens up. But we decided to try, just to try, because we had the space. And we'll see what happens. Bed 4, more blue Hubbards, and peas that survived the freeze, along with beans. Most of those are green beans. Some Kentucky Wonders, some Providers. There's a few lima beans in there. They didn't take off very well. A few wax beans. I don't know if you can see on the far side there's cuts in the weed fabric. That's because we put in black-eyed peas over the weekend. These peas need some help to get back to their support. Those are soybeans in the middle there. We have never grown soybeans before. It's for edamame, so soybeans just to eat straight. Not sure how they'll do, but we'll see. Giving it a try. You can see peas starting to get ready here. We'll be harvesting those soon. Bed 5 down here, more blue Hubbards. We have cayenne peppers, and then we have, I'm forgetting. Oh, these are all jalapenos. They were just planted at different times. So some bigger ones, and then a whole bunch of little jalapenos so they can be pickled later in the year. And then down on this end, we have a few Anaheim chili peppers and a whole bunch of bell peppers. This whole end down here is bell peppers. A few more blue Hubbards. And then along the fence we have berry vines starting. So these are all blackberries that we just put in this year. They won't produce until next year. Some of them made it through the freeze. Most of them made it through the freeze. A couple of them are not really growing. That's a random pumpkin plant I had left over. I just threw in there. These are raspberries. Raspberries don't really grow very well here, but we're going to give it a try and see what happens. And I think that might be a dewberry that's coming up. We didn't cut out dewberry vines, so I didn't know they were here, but if they grow and give us food, that's great. Another pumpkin I threw down there. These are hardy kiwi. It's a kiwi that you don't have to peel. It's basically almost like a grape. It's smaller and you can eat the skin of it. Those should be interesting. We can't grow regular kiwis here. So that is the main part of the garden. There are 5 long beds. And then those wicking beds are up closer to the house. We have a small wooded area here. There's a creek back behind there. And around the corner here is where we will have bees soon. We don't have them yet, but they're gonna live back here in this little clearing. They are currently, my brother has bees, and they are currently collecting from the yaupon bushes that are blooming. So they're busy right now. We will get them in a few weeks, and then they will be ours. Up here along the woods, we've been clearing a little bit of area. Our chickens have been working on that for us. Chickens are in a chicken tractor, so they can move as often as they need to every few days right now because they're not very big yet. They're still kind of babies. They're not laying yet. So they move every few days. You can see the ground here is completely scratched up and eaten because that's where they just were. Back further where they've come from, it started to come in again, so they can go back there soon. They're taking a rest. It's chicken nap time right now. Everybody's just laying down. They've got another couple of months before they'll be making eggs. We do give them a little bit of feed, but they also do a whole lot of just eating grass and bugs, and when we pull out weeds and old plants and things like that, we throw them in there so that the chickens can have at it. I have a few seedlings I haven't put in the ground yet. We have goji berries here in the corner. Those were from a friend. We traded some plants. I have some nasturtiums I need to put out. There are Yeti nasturtiums and purple emperors. So one is just a really big tall flower and one will vine out and cover a bed. There's some habanero peppers back there. And these that don't have sprouts yet are going to be okra. I just planted those a few days ago. This is a lime tree. We kept it in a pot so we can bring it inside if it gets too cold because they don't really tolerate the cold at all. This is a bonfire peach. We didn't know it had red leaves, but it appears to have red leaves, which is kind of cool. But it's a dwarf peach, so it can stay in a container. And it tried to set fruit too, I think. We'll see what happens. And there's our lemon. And then I have a few artichokes here. It's really the wrong time of year to start artichokes from seed, but I figured I could nurse them along and get them until they're bigger. So they're staying in pots so I can move them as I need to. It's going to be too hot for them here soon. And over here we have plum trees on the other side of the driveway. Tire, because we had a flat tire yesterday. Always an adventure. Mondays are Mondays. Here is our Bruce plum. It leafed out really good. It did bloom, but it didn't set any fruit, but that's fine. We don't want to be making a lot of fruit in the first year. And then over here is our Methley plum that also leafed out, also bloomed, didn't set fruit, but that's okay. So that is our tour, and we will do more details later. Bye.